my first time in a women's conference, and I can tell you the energy is palpable. I'd love to come back here again. What I'm going to share with you in this session is my understanding of consumer insights, the power of branding, and how to make spirituality fashionable to a whole lot of audience out there who still haven't discovered the joy of it. So I discovered the joy some time back, at least a glimpse of it. I practice yoga every day, pranayam, meditation, and I think I'm here because of some of the things and some of the way that it has enhanced my life. So what I am sharing with you is a personal experience. Okay? So before I jump into the topic of how to make it fashionable, what is fashion? What makes something fashionable? If we were to pull back and look at it, it is really something that is relevant. It's today. That which makes a meaningful difference to our lives. It's what is trending right now in terms of philosophies, in terms of concepts, in terms of what is new, what is emerging, and it is changing the status quo. It captures your imagination, and what is fashionable is also that which makes your life better. You go and do something which is fashionable because it's something that you feel a fear of missing out. I want to do this. I have to do this now, right? So that's what makes it fashionable. And you engage in it and you seek it out, not because you have to, and not because it's good for you, because you want to. So that is what makes something fashionable. If we can make spirituality in any way, in every way, a part of people's life by making it relevant to them, by telling them what a big role it can play in their life, then I think you don't need to preach it to them. They will come to you. They will want to be a part of it. Okay? So really, I think there is a whole industry out there making things fashionable. I'm part of that industry where you go, you create products, you create platforms, you create services, you position them in such a way that people think it's an answer to their problems and issues. It makes people better. It makes people feel happier. It makes people feel they are successful. So to a large extent, it makes people feel that they are leading a better life because you are adopting something that is fashionable. Okay? So really, I feel that to make spirituality fashionable to a larger audience and to particularly younger people, I feel you need to bust some of the myths around it. I feel it needs to be positioned to them as something that is not buried under a sea of rituals. It is not perhaps something of very ancient times that belongs to the world of gods and sages and something that is so serious that you sit with it and you have to do discourse with it. No, but spirituality to me is anything but that. It fulfills a very higher order need. It actually eases our lives. It makes our lives better. It takes away the pressure and the stress of our daily life, and it is our best ally. It's almost an enabler for us to reach and do the things that we want to do in our lives. Okay? So to me, if it has to be fashionable, it should not be something that's heavy, that's something in books, something that tells people what they should do and that it is important for them. It should not be an external imposed way of being or thinking. It should be what we want to do, to be happy, to be successful, and to be complete. And when spirituality enters your life, even if you are inclined towards it, I think it changes it in a way. It's not one day, it's not one time experience. It is something that is with you every day. It stays with you every day. You only have to open your eyes about it, for it, and I think that is what makes it so fashionable. I have 5. Thank you. So I have 5 small, what we call justifying narratives or key benefits that make spirituality enhance our lives. Okay? Something simple and easy that people can understand and want to adopt it. So I'm going to start with the first one. I think you will start seeing happy coincidences around you rather than worrying about what can go wrong. I think spirituality does that. You connect to the natural ebb and flow and rhythm of the universe. I know that sounds strong. So I'm going to give you an analogy for it, okay? It's like a swimmer. A very good swimmer goes through a length in 1/20th of the time that somebody who does not swim do. He enjoys it, he loves it, and people who are watching it gets just happy just seeing the person swim it. Compare it to someone who does not know how to swim. He's going to cover that length. He's going to be struggling with it. He might even drown, mind you, by the time he reaches there. It is a real struggle. That is what it is. Life is. You have spirituality, you are like that swimmer. You go through that. You go through the life easily. Okay? So, I think it's really a way of being. It is not something external to my mind. It's really a way of being. You can submerge yourself in what you're doing intentionally, passionately, yet remain calm, focused, without any distractions. I think it's an internal quiet, and it is about aligning yourself to the nature. And you know how perfect nature is, right? I mean, I keep saying this. The flower, the seed, the sapling, the river, the water, the stream, and then the rain, evaporation, it's all in perfect alignment. How can I be in alignment to something and not be in conflict with something? I think that's what spirituality teaches us. And if people, young people were to know that, I think it'd be fantastic. The second thing is about living life every day intensely without any barriers. I think it helps every aspect of your life. Relationship, career, talents, skills, and yet you be calm, you're ebullient, you're happy, and in some way rewarded, because it takes away the fear, the responsibility, the pressure of doing something well all the time. You feel light, you feel energized, and you feel spontaneous. And it doesn't come from outside. It connects you, truly connects you to the essence of who you are. You really know who you are, and we all know that that is a constant. That never changes. Everything around you changes. And when there is change around you, you go back to something that is inner and quiet, and that is something that doesn't change. So I think that's the second very great aspect of spirituality. And the third one, very close to what I do every day, is a more playful and creative energy. It's a creative energy. It is not something very strong and tying you down. You cannot read it, and you cannot understand it by having conversation, whether it is intellectual or otherwise. You have to experience it. And you have to experience it, then you will come to believe in it, then you will get into it, and then your journey of life and spirituality starts. I think that's the third part of it. And then the fourth one is, it allows you to be intensely in the moment. And what does that mean? And Guruji says that all the time. To me, it means that you're enjoying it completely. And again, I'll give you an analogy of like someone like a musician, a great musician on stage is oblivious to the audience around him. He's in it. He's in the zone. He shuts everything out. You know what? We can do that. You can do that. You can shut everything out, and you can be in the zone if you can have spirituality in your life. And the fifth one, and it's relevant to all of us here, and I'm guilty of it as well, I think spirituality clouds and clears the cloud of emotions in your mind, and it helps us take better decisions. We know that a lot of emotions come and go within us, and sometimes you can't control them, and they take over you, and they make your mood change. So I think a little bit of spirituality, a little bit of meditation actually clears that cloud of emotions. You're able to take better decisions. I always find that if I have to take a difficult decision, I want to think about it inside, and then you know that it feels right, okay? And in a lot of extent, I think it also, meditation helps you in your intuitive powers. A little bit by little bit, your intuition becomes better. It's somewhat like a muscle, you know. If you keep flexing it, if you keep using it, it becomes better, right? You can trust it, and it becomes, and we talked about memory, we talked about something like that. So if you keep using your intuition, I think it gets better. So that's something. And so there are three truths I feel about spirituality as well that I've seen about people. It's not just about how capable, how good, and how talented you are. I think it's about how we deal with stress, how we deal with conflicts, and how we deal with negative emotions that make us realize our true potential. It's not about how successful you are. Are you able to realize your true potential? I think it does through something like this. And the second thing is, fear and uncertainty keeps us from reaching our full potential. And I think spirituality is that tool that allows you to do that. So that I come to the end of my thoughts. I think to a large extent it's an antidote to the disharmony in the world today. We live in this VUCA world, which is called volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And I think it unites people from all walks of life. And I think the rest of the world is waking up to the power of it and are looking to India to find the answers. And I think we are lucky. Experience is right here, right now. And I feel that it's in our hands to make it the most fashionable quest of this decade, of this century. And I think it's in our hands.